I remember being in chorus in 5th grade, and my first experience of like really performing as a solo individual in front of a big group of people was I was playing the piano, and it was during the chorus concert, and the chorus teacher called me down to do like a solo, and during the spring concert, and I played. Song I played. I forget what song I played, but I was really gunning it at the end, and I was just banging on the keys really hard, and I hit a note that just sounded catastrophic, and I freezed and tried to like kind of recover and go back into it, and then I hit a note that sounded even worse, and so everyone kind of like I heard like, you know, the whole like all the parents and stuff chuckling and stuff, and I didn't know what to do, so I just stood up and went, "Thank you," and I like went back to my spot in the risers. But so that was my first time, and ever since then the piano has kind of scared me when I play it live. I've kind of gotten over it now, but you know, with a guitar there are 6 ways to mess up. On a piano there are 88 ways to mess up, and so I started playing the piano when I was 3 years old, and there's like home videos of me playing like Mary Had a Little Lamb and stuff when I was 3. I just listened to songs and played them on the piano, and so then I started taking piano lessons, and I took lessons for probably like 7 or 8 years, and then I started taking drum lessons, and took that for about 7 years or so, and then I taught myself guitar. So I've really surrounded myself with music my entire life, and I just kind of made the most of it, and never have really took it seriously until probably about 5 years ago, whenever I started trying to you know, get into the industry and really use it as more than a hobby to kind of support a living and stuff. So
you can see the discipline Nick has as a student, an athlete, and as a musician. That is all simultaneous, and you can see that kind of discipline is incredible to me, because you know, I'm sure you know this. I mean, if it's guitar, it's piano. He's come down here and played before. He picks up harmonica, saxophone. It's just incredible what he can do, and also, if you didn't know he did it, you'd never know from his personality. I mean, it's not something that is on his sleeve. It's just something else that Nick does. I saw him perform. He's 14. It wasn't so good, and yeah, but I've seen him perform many times. I'm very fortunate. I wish I could see it more.
City, I've had some shows in Ocean City. I played 2 years, or 2 years now at Discover Presque Isle Festival, the First Niagara Pavilion, and last year I opened up for Flo Rida and the Ting Tings, who actually both were Grammy nominees last year. So I got to open up for them at Soldiers and Sailors Memorial down in Oakland, in the big like auditorium and stuff. So I've had a lot of, and actually 2 weeks ago I played an event for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a Glimmer of Hope charity event, which I work pretty close with. But yeah, I got to play for some of the Steelers, and it's just cool to have, like, you know, you finish a song and the first person to stand up and clap is Ben Roethlisberger. You're just like, man, this is really cool, and like Heinz Ward's making requests. So like stuff like that is why I love what I do. It can be stressful at times, and people think it's like, oh, you're a musician, how's that stressful? It's like, well, if you're trying to be in the industry, it is a job, even though it's fun and it seems glamorous, and at this point in my career I don't even know the ins and outs of what the big time music industry is, so I'm not at liberty to say that, but it is stressful even at this level, just trying to get yourself out there and promote yourself and stuff like that. So, but the rewards are way worth it, so to speak.
Well, I'm not musical myself, but you can obviously see in his ability, especially when he composes his own music, clearly his own, that is amazing to me. His lyrics themselves are incredible to me. But for someone like me that doesn't have that type of knowledge, technical knowledge, when he recreates current popular songs and they sound better than the original. There's been times I hear things on the radio and I think it's Big Nick's song.
I started to write music at probably right around 11 years old. I started like actually writing pieces and full sort of looking for arrangements. I started to write arrangements probably when I was 11 years old, and write lyrics and stuff. I've really taken a lot from Dave Matthews and Bob Dylan with lyric writing, because I feel that lyrics should be deep and not just really shallow. But when it comes to songwriting, I take a lot from, like I said, Dave Matthews and John Mayer. Those are my two idols, and so I take a lot of my songwriting from them. And when you listen to my excuse me, when you listen to my songs, you can clearly hear the influence. Although I don't like to do what they do, I like to make it my own. And so I take everything, and then I kind of hear it in my head and hear what I think it should sound like, and then try to replicate that as much as possible when it comes to actually recording it. I had plans after senior year that ended up falling through, so it was kind of a rescue to be admitted into Duquesne at a really late hour, actually. And so I wanted to study something that was very general so that I can concentrate on music, and Duquesne just happens to have a really excellent business school. So it was really kind of a lifesaver at that time, and it still is. So it's just a really good program to be where I am, and I'm excited that I chose to go to Duquesne. I entered a battle of the bands, and there were, I think, 11 bands there. I ended up winning, actually, playing a cover of Viva La Vida by Coldplay, which was really popular at the time. So yeah, that was cool to have that kind of kick off my freshman year, along with the you know, the other stuff that I was doing at the time with you know, John Mayer and playing at those concerts at the Post-Gazette Pavilion, now the First Niagara Pavilion. Every song that I record and try to promote is my song completely, written and lyrics. So I express myself through music and through lyrics. So music's a big outlet for me. It's also something to do if I am bored or something. Music's an amazing outlet of stress, of time, of everything. So music's been like right there with me throughout every stage of my life, and it will continue probably until I die. So.
Oh, Shannon was Nick's childhood friend and neighbor, and she had an accident where she was killed. But he wrote a song about Shannon. Mm-hmm. He played that song in front of Shannon's dad, who was in the first row. Now, it's hard for me to even talk about that. And I said to him when he was done, I said, how do you sing that song when you see Shannon's dad in the first row? And you know, and he just said that the music takes over.
Every time I play a show at a different experience, like a new venue or something, I'm always nervous the first time, and then after that I'm not nervous anymore. So if I was going to play, like I remember the first time playing at the Hard Rock, I was like really nervous to go up on stage. Now whenever I play a Hard Rock show, like the manager just like called me a few days ago and said, hey, can you come down tonight and just like do this demo we're doing? I said, yeah, sure. And I'm no longer nervous for that. Then the first time I played at the First Niagara Pavilion, I was nervous. Now I'm not nervous for that anymore. So it's really a degree of stages, and then like once I realize it's like, oh yeah, I can be comfortable in this too, then I'm no longer nervous for doing stuff like that.
But his stage presence is incredible. I think the way he works the crowd, and he's sharing his talent. And I think he does it just like some of the people that I admire, and that you know, that you would see here on the radio. Nick never ceases to stop amazing me. I don't think you can close when you talk about him because there's so much for the future. But when he goes down to Duquesne and gets a 4.0 over and over and over again, and he had the highest grade, I think, in his stats class, and the teacher waived his final. I've never heard of stories like that academically, and that's impressive. And I don't want that to take a back seat to his music. Like I said, music's just a part of him, just like football was a part of him. But I'm very proud of him that he's going to get the degree, and then who knows what he'll do from there. But I won't be surprised. You know, we always talk about when he goes on tour. You know, like Hart's going to be his security, and you know, and things like that. And that wouldn't surprise me at all. But I'm very, very proud of him for what he's accomplished in the football field classroom, in my classroom, and on the stage. But more so academically at Duquesne. I think a lot of people are just taking it for granted now. You know, that what he does, and I think that accomplishment is amazing. And I've told some of the teachers at school that he has those kind of grades, and it's they understand the degree of difficulty that is, and I'm guilty of it too, because now we just take it for granted. You know, Nick pounds out the straight A's, got the 4.0, and he's going to cut the album, and Nick's, you know, taking care of all the church music and taking care of that, and next thing he'll be senator. Who knows? You know, you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I hope that I do this for the rest of my life. I think that music is the best way for me to live, and it's it's such a love for me that I never want to not be pursuing it. So I'm just so thankful for everything that I've been able to do and the experience that I've had in the past, and where I am so far. And I hope that once the CD comes out, and I'm going to be making some promotional moves and some moves in the industry, and once I finish school especially, you know, I don't know where my life's going to be in 10 years, but I hope that it's, you know, where I want it to be. And